James on the dive and looking.
When things were looking great for the Grizzlies in Game 3, it turned bad pretty quickly, and it all started with this.
A topside Bane three is through.
Set up your half-court defense, especially with the cross-match. Bane, tough chance, overbalanced shooting. Bane leading the Grizzlies in.
No one expected LeBron James to hint at something like this. Not now, not yet. After 2 decades of dominance, after building a legacy that stretched beyond the game, the idea that he's not done, that there's another chapter coming, has sent shockwaves through the sports world. It wasn't a retirement speech. It wasn't a press event. Just a few words here and there. A passing comment. But the message was clear. Basketball might be ending, but LeBron isn't. This isn't the usual farewell tour. It's not about fading quietly. For most athletes, retirement marks the final buzzer. For LeBron, it looks more like a transition. Not into rest, but into something even bigger. Something more controlled, more deliberate, and much more powerful. Because LeBron James has never been just a player. He's been a movement. And now, that movement is shifting again. The first signs were easy to miss. A mention of new ventures following the playoffs. A cryptic video post featuring a European soccer stadium. A podcast comment about owning a team, not playing on one. These weren't throwaway lines. They were signals. Signals that something strategic is unfolding, and it's been in the works for a long time. That's what makes this different. LeBron has always planned 10 steps ahead. When he started a media company, it wasn't just about production credits. It was about controlling the message. When he invested in sports franchises, it wasn't for headlines. It was for leverage. Everything has been part of a wider blueprint. And now, for the first time in years, that blueprint is becoming visible to everyone else. Some insiders believe he's eyeing a future expansion team, likely in Las Vegas, a city primed for NBA entry and already linked to LeBron's long-term vision. Others believe he's positioning himself for something more international, potentially buying into European football clubs or building a cross-sport athlete agency that reshapes how contracts and influence work. Then there's Hollywood. He already has the audience, the platform, and the partnerships. It wouldn't be a leap. And through it all, he hasn't slowed down on the court. He's still dropping 30-point nights, mentoring younger players, and dictating tempo like it's year 10, not year 21. That's the contradiction. He's managing an empire and playing like he has something to prove. No one's done that before. Not like this. Meanwhile, the league has already shifted around him. No other active player has ever been granted such deep access to ownership discussions or influence in league politics. There's an understanding now. LeBron doesn't need the NBA to keep his status. If anything, the league needs him. And that understanding changes everything. Fans, analysts, and even former teammates are watching closely. The question isn't if LeBron is making a move, it's when and what. Because wherever he goes next, it won't just league ownership, global expansion, or something completely new. LeBron James is making sure he doesn't just leave a legacy. He redefines what one looks like. And while the public speculates, he continues to drop subtle breadcrumbs. No big reveals, no press junkets, just quiet, calculated positioning. The same way he used to read defenses and make the perfect pass. Now he's reading industries and executing the next play. Every partnership, every appearance, every carefully timed quote, it's all a piece of a much bigger puzzle. What makes this next chapter so compelling isn't just that LeBron is moving into uncharted territory. It's that he's doing it on his own terms, with zero dependence on the traditional systems that once controlled athletes. He's rewriting the rulebook. The blueprint he's building isn't just for him. It's for every athlete watching, wondering if they too can one day own what they once played for. LeBron has always been strategic, but now the scale of that strategy is global. He's leveraging decades of relationships, brands, capital, and credibility to create something far more permanent than a highlight reel. The jersey will come off, but the influence won't. And when that happens, his presence in sports might only grow, just in a different form. Think about it. Players retire, owners don't, athletes fade, institutions endure. LeBron's vision appears to be about longevity in a way that goes beyond the body, into markets, boardrooms, and movements. He's already inserted himself into tech, media, entertainment, and sports investment. He's testing boundaries most former players never even approach. There's a reason he's studying ownership structures and quietly assembling advisory teams with people who've shaped global industries. He's not preparing for the next season. He's preparing for the next era. One where he's not on the court, but above it. All while remaining just as relevant, just as powerful, and maybe even more influential. When the time comes, he won't simply announce a job title. It will be a strategic takeover, a step into permanence. And when that moment lands, people will realize that LeBron wasn't walking away from the game. He was walking into something bigger, something most athletes never even reach the edge of. So if you're only watching the scoreboard, you're already behind. The real numbers aren't on the stat sheet anymore. They're in valuation tables, licensing deals, and ownership bids, because LeBron James has already played his greatest game, and it wasn't basketball. It was power, long-term influence, and institutional presence. And for those who still think of him only as an athlete, they're missing what's right in front of them. The evolution from player to power broker is nearly complete. Every move he's made has led here, and what comes next will change the game, again.
To track it all, from subtle signals to seismic shifts, keep following the breakdowns here on Isaac Weah. This is where the game behind the game gets revealed.